As all of you remember, on Friday, Daniel Davis tried to get my TV ad about his voting record removed from the air. It didn't work because my ad is factual, and Daniel's actions and votes are reflected in it. During his press conference, he said I was attacking his family. Let me be clear, the only candidate's family under attack is mine. Here are the facts disputing his attacks and lies. My husband is a star witness for the prosecution in the federal case against Aaron Zahn. He has worked with the Department of Justice and the FBI. He received no compensation and has nothing to gain. My family had no financial interest of any kind in anything related to JEA or the ITN. We now know that some leaders in the community, such as Mike Weinstein and Jody Brooks, came together to support a proposal that would not result in JEA being sold. They were brought together by my husband, who also opposed the sale and did so with no promise of compensation. Even if that proposal would have made it to the final stages, it likely would have been rejected by JEA management because it would not have resulted in a massive payout under the PUP, nor yielded the funds Mayor Curry wanted to fund his pet projects. In fact, Terrence Freeman and Rory Diamond know this. I urge you all to ask them. The formation of this committee is clearly a political attack, unprecedented in the history of our consolidated government. Even the emails that started all of this were handed over by Daniel Davis's own communications director because she was on them and wanted to create a controversy to help Daniel. City Hall has never been so blatantly weaponized to go after a political opponent, only days before an election. Days. Daniel Davis, Lenny Curry, and Terrence Freeman have weaponized city government against a citizen who opposed their agenda and had the guts to run against their hand-picked candidate to try and clean up the legacy of corruption and scandal that even has Fox News pitying us. I want to be clear. I have always complied with the laws of the state of Florida and this consolidated government. I filed a legally accurate, voluntary disclosure, unlike some of my colleagues, one member, Aaron Bowman, who never even filed one. Where is the investigation on him? I guess he works for the Chamber, so Daniel Davis doesn't need one. Bowman works for Daniel Davis, and there is no question that the Chamber and Daniel Davis were aware and active in the promotion of the sale of JEA, even receiving $325,000 to do so. Look at Terrence Freeman's form. It contradicts itself. He said he had no interactions, and then 2 sentences later lists out the interactions he has. Where is the investigation into him? Maybe there's a reason they're not targeting him and targeting me. Terrence and the 4 other members, Rory Diamond, Nick Howland, Sam Newby, and Michael Boylan, have all received money from Daniel Davis, his consultant, or have been endorsed by the Chamber. The targeted attacks of me are a blatant weaponization of City Hall against the only candidate who will stop the pay-to-play nature in the city amongst the powerful few. They say you can't fight City Hall. Now we know what it looks like when you do. Given this weaponization of government is being led by an Obama Justice Department alum, Rory Diamond, we can't be surprised that the same tactics that Obama and Biden have used against the Tea Party, churches, and now Governor DeSantis are being used. In conclusion, remember that, to date, the biggest beneficiary of the failed JEA sale is still Daniel Davis in the Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce, who received over $300,000 to promote the sale. Before I take your questions, I want to share a few more pieces of information about the subject of the TV ad Daniel tried desperately and failed to get taken off TV. The day after Christmas, Daniel Davis began running negative ads. I found out because my own children told me. He has since expanded that to attacking my husband, my family. He only has negative things to say about this city because he has no vision to fix Jacksonville's problems that he himself has created. The bottom line is Daniel tells lies, and here's the truth that he hopes you do not see. Daniel voted to lower standards of reporting for sexual assaults against children the year after it became public his brother-in-law ran interference for decades for Pastor Bob Gray. Is this a coincidence? Doubtful, but you guys decide. Maybe we can investigate that. Let me repeat this. In the legislature, Daniel voted to make it easier for sexual predators to get away with it. He sits here gaslighting, pretending he is the victim, while he voted against the reporting of child sexual abuse. I was working to protect women and children. This issue is extremely personal to me. As a teenager, one of my best friends was abused by her boyfriend. And ever since then, I have worked tirelessly against domestic violence and sexual assault. Daniel's vote sets that all backward. It's also one of the reasons that Daniel has the support of those I opposed, the strip club owners. I have fought against sex trafficking. I raised the stripping age here to 21 and have fought the strip clubs since I got elected. And they know that I will continue to fight. Now they're supporting Daniel. It's no surprise. Daniel should own up to the votes he took, the people who he surrounds himself with, and who is supporting him. And then look in the mirror before claiming he's the victim. It's time to get back to basics and putting the people of Jacksonville before the select few who have controlled the city for decades. That is exactly why I'm running, and they prove my point on how much change is needed in this city every time they weaponize government. Voters have a choice. I'm running to make the city better for you, your family, and your children. Daniel Davis is running to make the city better for Daniel.